These are the numbers that I would want to know if I was a real estate agent or even buying a house or anything connected with the real estate and mortgage industry. Hey everyone, this is Rayce Robinson, your favorite Florida mortgage broker. And man, is there a lot of conflicting data out there? It's really confusing. Just to give you an idea, this is an article from JP Morgan CEO, James Dimon, saying 7% rates may come even without the Fed's help. And to put that in perspective, the Fed funds rate's around 5.5, I think technically 5.375, and we have mortgage interest rates or interest rates that clients are going to get to buy a home, well over 7.5%. Remember, everyone's rate's different. You can buy the rate down. There's all kinds of ways to play with the numbers. But in general, nationally, rates are over 7.5%. And if the Fed funds rate went to 7%, that would make interest rates over 9%. And obviously, the higher the rates, the more transactions are going to fall. And also, the more inventory it locks in as move-up buyers are just decide, no way I'm going to do that. And at the same time, you have Wells Fargo saying that they're predicting the Fed to cut interest rates dramatically in 2024, which means that you have two big entities that spend a lot of money on economists and market forecasts saying two completely different things. And you know what? That's actually always normally the case. And just like we tell clients that are looking to buy a home, especially first-time home buyers, is trying to time any type of market is almost impossible. And the real estate market is even harder. I did a stat before in one of my videos where they were saying 344,000 homes are now underwater, which is up 25%. Which seems like a ton because 25% of anything is a ton. But at the same time, in 2008, there was almost 16 million plus homes underwater. So there's just no way that we have any type of market crash coming, at least in my opinion. I can't predict the market, but that's why all these entities, Black Knight, FHFA, CoreLogic, all these different companies predicting the market to increase 6 to 8% over the next few years because they see this market with supply being constrained and rates at some point starting to fall, which is just going to take all those buyers that wouldn't buy now and push them into the future while there's still low supply, which is where we're going to get more appreciation. This article from Redfin talking about the housing market update, more home sellers dropping their price as mortgage rates hit 2-decade high. When you read into the article, I think this is definitely, to me, the more interesting part of the article. It says, what does this mean for home sellers? Pricing your home right is a delicate science. Even though demand is relatively low, you're likely to find a buyer who will pay a fair price, which means for home buyers, negotiate with the sellers. It's still tough to win a home for under asking price, but sellers have come to the term with the fact that the 7% mortgage rates are giving buyers cold feet. And if you're involved in real estate transactions, you know that to be true. I see sellers that just get frustrated with a whole transaction and say, I'll just put it back on the market, see if I can find another buyer, which sometimes they do. And then I see buyers over really sometimes small things or small differences between price points or sellers' concessions walk away from deals that I think in hindsight they're going to be sorry. And that's just the market you have when you have affordability that's really not that great. And at the same time, you have a seller's market where sellers still are in control of the market, though it is more imbalanced than it's been in a long time. And so as a real estate agent or mortgage professional, one of the things I said, it's not about having the answers, it's about asking yourself the right questions. And is this market the way it is right now likely to change anytime soon? My answer to that is probably not. This is the new normal for the next foreseeable future. And to wait and try to time the market for any type of change is not likely to happen. And we are getting interest rates, again, well over 7.5%. I think transactions, you had the CEO of Redfin say that he felt transactions would cap out at under 4 million. This is a chart from the National Association of Realtors showing that we did peak out about annualized 6.5 million transactions annually. And right now we're 4 million annualized. And I actually think the CEO from Redfin is wrong. I think we're going under that number. I think we're going to keep rates a little higher longer with what the Fed said, even though they paused, right? They actually set themselves up for another rate increase. The market now predicting another 0.25% increase, which is going to make rates at potentially tad bit higher. No one knows for sure. But in general, that's going to, the higher rates stay, the more transactions are going to fall. At the same time, supply is really not changing that much. So again, more of the same throughout the year, throughout next year, maybe the year after. That being said, the agents that I know that are doing really well, which is surprisingly a lot, usually have one common denominator. One, a lot of men around in the market for a long time. They already have a big reach. And so those agents are doing really well because people still need to move. Again, 4 million transactions mean a lot of people are going to buy and sell, and a ton of people coming to Florida. I think if you're a newer agent, or maybe you've focused on buyers, and now you see buyers transactions falling. Really, right now, listings are a big part of where I see agents being successful, and you need to have a good mix in your business. I think listing and buyers. And if you're working with buyers, you have to have the biggest net at the lowest cost. And I say this all the time, but when I meet with agents one-on-one, they really don't understand how to create that net. They do some social media posts, they do a lot of things, but they're kind of jack of all trades, and they don't do any one thing really well. So if I have any advice to loan officers, mortgage people, and real estate agent, is to pick something and build it all the way out. We're all guilty of starting a project. Oh, we're going to start doing this, and then we change and we change and we change, and nothing is really good. So you don't need 42 strategies. You need to do a few things well, whether that's systematically calling people, staying in touch with people. There's real estate transactions happening every day. Your job is to figure out how to go get in the middle of them. And if you're a buyer or seller, couldn't be better, because if you're buying, there's less competition and rates are going to fall down the road, and you're going to be competing against more and more buyers. At the same time, sellers are still in control of the market, and as that demand increases, it's going to be very difficult to get involved in the real estate market. So I'd say no matter what, don't time the market. If you're a real estate agent, this is the market we have. This is the market you need to be figuring out. How are you setting up your daily success plan? We just did a seminar and had a really good turnout of agents to look at how they can set up their day-to-day activity. If you don't know what that is or how to get started with that, reach out to me. I would love to help. If you're a buyer or seller watching this video, remember, don't time the market. It never pays off. In 25 years of doing this, if you'd have bought a house in 2008 and waited till 2009, yes, that one time you'd have been right. Other than that, you would have never been right. And even if you bought a house in 2008, right now, you'd be sitting really, really good. In fact, if you could go right now and buy a house for what people paid in 2008, you would beg, borrow, and steal to do it, because that would be extremely low prices, because the real estate market is undefeated over time for appreciation. So we're going to keep following the data. We're going to keep looking at what the Fed is doing. But in the long term, setting up your daily success plan, this is the new normal. This is the new market for the foreseeable future. If you have any questions on this or anything else, reach out to me. I'd love to help. As more information becomes available that moves the market, as always, I'll cover it right here. Have a great day, great week, great month. Let me know what else I can do to help. Talk to you soon.